Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Subrata Sarkar. I'm a mechanical engineer working in manufacturing industry more than 22 years. Today, I'll be discussing a topic. The name of the topic is known to everybody, but people normally don't think this subject so scientifically and technically, that is process of sleeping. We all sleep every day, but we don't know there are many things inside the sleeping actually process, how these things happen. And many people have many misconception of the different activities of sleeping. Today I'll discuss in a very short and summarized way actually. Many people think that if I ask somebody why do you sleep or why do we sleep, people as 95% people have an answer that to gain more body energy in the body so that in next day we can work more and get physically fit. This answer is totally wrong. Clinical experiment says that if we sleep for 8 hours, we gain only 50 kilocalorie energy, which is equivalent to having a single piece of toast. So only by sleeping 8 hours, we acquire only 50 calorie energy. So this is the wrong idea actually. By sleeping we get a lot of energy in our body. Actually there are a lot of other like cognitive skills like speech, memory, thinking flexibility, direct work of the brain actually, for which we need the sleep. But there are a lot of other questions still. Why do we sleep? Because there are many people performing well by not sleeping for say one day. Many people are so this is a very generic kind of answer. But if we see that how much duration we need to sleep actually, because many people say 4 hours sleeping is okay for me. Since last 10 years I'm sleeping for only 4 hours. They don't know actually how much harming they are playing with their health actually. Surely for if you are not sleeping the right required hour, your lifespan will be reduced basically. Sleeping duration depending on the age is 16 hours to 8 hours. For adults for say 8 hours, and for the kids up to maximum 16 hours. For example, say infant should sleep 16 to 20 hours a day, toddler 12 to 16 hours a day, preschool 11 to 13 hours a day, school goers 10 to 11 hours a day, teenager 9.5 to 10 hours a day must sleep, and for adults 7.5 to 8 hours a day need to sleep. And some other different kinds of the information about sleeping is most of us on an average 1/3 of our life we sleep actually. Say somebody is living say for 60 years, so 20 years time he or she has slept. And most important point is sleeping is not an inactive process. Sleeping is an active process. There is no organ in our body and the regulatory system gets shut down when you are sleeping. All these things are working actually. Rather, some part of the brain activity got increases or more activated when we are sleeping actually. For example, like delta wave radiation from our brain increases, like specific hormone like growth hormone, somatotrophic hormone secretion increases when we are sleeping in the deep level of the sleeping. And it can be checked when some person is sleeping. There is a lot of ECG and other clinical tests by which it can be checked like how the brain wave is working during sleep. In a simple way, we have two different kinds of sleep. Has got two subdivision. One is called REM, another is called non-REM. REM means rapid eye movement. And the stage, the non-REM has got 4 subdivisions, stage 1, stage 2, 3, 4, and that is covering basically 75% of our sleeping. So there are 5 stages in the sleeping. If in a duration of say 8 hours, stage 1 it stays for 5% durations. At that time muscle activity slows down actually. Stage 2 stays for 45 to 55% of our total sleeping, and breath pattern and a heartbeat actually at that time slowing down. And stage 3 is a deep sleep begins actually, and brain generates delta wave in a more prominent way. Stage 4, it stays for 10% to 15% duration and very deep sleep at that time actually, and muscle activity regains more actually. And stage 5, or last stage of the sleeping, its duration is 20 to 25%. At the time a lot of rapid eye movement happen inside actually. If eyelid is covered, but inside the eyelid there is a lot of eye movements and other things will happen actually. And all these things actually can be checked clinically, and this is the data after checking this. People are and there are many what I say problems during the sleeping happens. Most very popular things which happens with many people, that is this symptom is called obstructive sleep apnea. Actually, when somebody is sleeping, your total tongue that by self weight, there is a space on the space got reduced actually, then a lot of snoring is come out actually, and it increases if your body weight is increases. Those who are overweight and all these things, sleep apnea is more with them actually. And there are a lot of symptoms if you are not sleeping well, and if you have a very sleeping problems actually, like many people trying to sleep but they cannot sleep because there are a lot of things, hyperactivity inside the body, there are a lot of frequent illness, and there are jaw pains. A lot of symptoms comes if you are not the sleeping. And the sleeping is not only important for the human being, it is equally applicable for all the animals, and different animal also has got a different duration of sleeping in 24 hours. For example, a tiger needs to sleep 15 to 16 hours a day. In the same way, a giraffe needs to sleep only 1.9 hours, close to 2 hours a day. An elephant needs to sleep 3.5 hours a day. So sleeping is very important, and we need to maintain the duration of the sleeping, to have a very healthy life. This is very, very important. Many people by today, we are busy with a lot of other things, with modernization, mechanization, but we need to understand we should not play with our health, because ultimately it reduces your lifespan straight away. Because there are a lot of diseases like cardiovascular disease directly related with your, if you have a very less hour of sleeping, directly affects your endocrine system, affects your immune system, affects if you are not sleeping with the proper durations, 8 or 10 hours. Your nervous system is directly affects, your mental health directly affects, your early death will surely happen if you do not sleep in at least 8 to 10 hours on an average. So on an average, kids should sleep 10 to 12 hours, and adults need to sleep at least 8 hours a day. So if you find this presentation is interesting, you can share it with your friends. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, you can subscribe my channel. By clicking on this bell icon, you can get the notification for my future presentation. Thank you so much for your attention.